imagine for a moment that the entire universe is a mirror, faithfully reflecting the secret convictions you hold about yourself. Every thought you impress upon your inner reality radiates outward like a signal, shaping how others see you, how they feel about you, and what role you play in their minds. You are not walking through life as some invisible figure hoping to be noticed. You are the very center of consciousness itself, and everything is orbiting around the image you dare to sustain. If you decide right now that you are unforgettable, that you are the one etched permanently into the memory and desire of others, then the universe has no choice but to bow to that decree. For what you assume to be true of yourself becomes the law to those who encounter you. It is not by accident that certain people linger in your mind long after they have left the room, while others fade without a trace. It is not their clothes, their beauty, their charm alone. It is the inner conviction, the unspoken certainty they carry about themselves. They have assumed they are unforgettable, and therefore they are. You must understand this is not about manipulation, but about aligning yourself with the reality you wish to experience. If you wish to be the one they cannot release from their thoughts, then you must dwell in that assumption until it feels as natural as breathing. Every encounter, every glance, every silence between words becomes charged with the energy of your chosen self-image. Others are not thinking of you at random. Their thoughts of you are shaped by the concept of yourself you secretly hold. When you decide that you are the most captivating being in their world, when you live as though you are the thought that interrupts their days and the dream that lingers through their nights, you begin to emit a frequency that calls their attention irresistibly. They may not understand why they cannot stop thinking of you, but you will know, for you planted that seed. You impressed it upon your inner consciousness, and the outer world has no choice but to reflect it back in the form of their obsession. Do not wait for them to tell you you're unforgettable. Do not wait for their actions to prove your worth. Stand in the state now. Close your eyes and see yourself as the one they cannot ignore. Feel the certainty of being the thought that grips them even in the quiet moments, the face that returns unbidden in their imagination, the presence they cannot erase no matter how they try. Live from that state until it takes hold of you so deeply that you cannot help but radiate it. Then, without forcing, without chasing, you will find evidence flowing to you, a message out of the blue, a confession that they couldn't stop thinking of you, a look in their eyes that betrays their inner storm. Obsession is not created by effort in the outer world. It is born of stillness within. You do not need to plead or persuade. You need only assume. When you step into the state of being unforgettable, your silence speaks louder than words. Your absence shouts louder than presence, and your energy becomes undeniable. They will try to busy themselves with distractions, but your essence will pierce through. They will scroll endlessly, but their mind will circle back to you. They will meet others, but your image will overshadow every encounter. For once you claim the role of being unforgettable, the universe rearranges itself to sustain that role in the minds of all who cross your path. The secret is persistence of imagination. Every time doubt whispers that you might be overlooked, every time fear suggests they have moved on, return to your inner vision. Refuse to argue with appearances. Instead, stand firmly in the reality that you are etched into their soul. See them lying awake at night, unable to escape the thought of you. Feel their heart quicken when your name arises. Imagine their mind looping around your memory like a song that refuses to fade. The more vividly you impress this scene upon yourself, the more intensely it must outpicture in their experience. You have already felt this power before. Think of the times when you could not shake the thought of someone, when every attempt to let go was futile, when their presence haunted your imagination. That experience did not come from them. It came from your inner assumption. You made them unforgettable by giving them that role in your own mind. Now you must claim that power for yourself. Instead of being at the mercy of someone else's energy, you become the one who sets the tone, the one who writes the script. By deciding that you are the unforgettable one, you reverse the dynamic. They become the one caught in your orbit, magnetized by the force of your assumption. Do not underestimate the creative power of a single feeling. When you stand in front of a mirror and declare within yourself, "I am the one they'll never forget," you ignite a vibration that ripples into the unseen. It may look as though nothing happens in that moment, but the unseen currents are already moving. Their mind begins to stir, memories they thought were buried rise unbidden. Emotions they try to suppress resurface with intensity. That is the telepathic link between imaginal consciousness and outer reality. You are not begging for their attention. You are transmitting certainty. And certainty cannot be ignored. What makes this so irresistible is that it bypasses logic. They may tell themselves stories about why they should not think of you, why they should move on, why they should distract themselves, but no reasoning can compete with the magnetic force of your assumed identity. You are the one that lingers in the silence after the conversation ends. You are the one that appears in the dream without warning. You are the one that colors their world in ways they cannot explain. That is the fruit of your imaginal act. Release the need for proof in the moment. The outer world always trails behind the inner. When you feel the urge to check if it is working, stop and remind yourself, it already is. The proof is not needed because the assumption is the proof. What you assume is what they experience. The moment you persist in the reality of being unforgettable, they are already under its spell. Your only task is to remain faithful to that inner conviction, and the rest unfolds with precision. Think of it as planting a seed. You do not dig up the soil each day to see if it has sprouted. You trust the process, knowing that growth is inevitable. So too with obsession. Once you have sown the seed of being unforgettable in your inner world, let it be. Nurture it with feeling. Water it with persistence. Shine upon it with certainty, and it will bear fruit. They will not know why they cannot shake you, only that they cannot. This is not arrogance, it is creative mastery. The truth is that you have always been unforgettable to someone, but now you are choosing to direct that power consciously. You are choosing to no longer drift as a forgotten figure in someone else's story, but to stand as the central flame in their imagination. The world cannot resist the one who refuses to be forgotten. Let this conviction seep into every fiber of your being. As you walk, imagine that every step leaves an imprint on the memory of those who witness you. As you speak, imagine your words carving themselves into their thoughts. As you remain silent, feel your silence vibrating through their mind, louder than sound itself. Train yourself to feel that no matter what happens in the outer world, you are already unforgettable within them. When you master this inner state, obsession follows as naturally as shadow follows light. And you are not here to chase, to beg, to prove. You are here to assume, to radiate, to command through stillness. You are here to take your rightful place as the one they cannot release. Every time you close your eyes and dwell in the reality of being unforgettable, you bind their thoughts to you more firmly, not through force, but through the law of assumption. You are becoming the melody that plays in the background of their life, the fragrance that lingers long after you leave the room, the presence that accompanies them even in solitude. Your task is simple yet profound. Persist. Persist when the outer world seems slow to catch up. Persist when doubts whisper lies. Persist when appearances suggest otherwise. For persistence in the inner realm guarantees inevitability in the outer. The day will come when they confess, directly or indirectly, that they cannot stop thinking of you. They will show it in their eyes, their voice, their actions. But long before they utter the words, you will already know, for you claimed it in consciousness, and consciousness never fails to outpicture itself. And so, step into the identity now. Claim it not as a hope, but as a fact. You are the one they'll never forget. You are the one who occupies their every waking and sleeping moment. You are the obsession that refuses to fade. Live from this truth, breathe from it, think from it, and the universe will echo it back to you in ways more beautiful and undeniable than you can imagine. Close your eyes and breathe into this knowing. You are not waiting to become unforgettable. You already are. The evidence is not in what they say or do. It is in the certainty you hold within yourself. When you decide that you are etched into their mind, the universe arranges itself so that every path they walk, every thought they think, every feeling they feel leads back to you. This is not a game of chance. It is the law of assumption in action. The state you occupy becomes the magnet that draws all else into alignment. And the state of being unforgettable is the most powerful of all, for it claims permanence in their inner world. They may try to move forward, but the thought of you will always return. They may attempt to fill their days with noise and distraction, yet in the stillness of the night it is you who remains. You do not need to chase or demand. The mere fact that you hold the inner conviction seals their fate. They are bound by the image you sustain of yourself. If you persist in knowing that you are the one they'll never forget, then every action they take, whether in resistance or surrender, will only deepen their obsession. For energy cannot be denied. The impression you have planted in consciousness will grow roots so deep that no effort of theirs can pull it out. Understand this well. Obsession is not forced by action, but compelled by vibration. The world responds to the frequency of what you assume yourself to be. If you assume you are easily forgotten, that assumption becomes the law they unconsciously obey. If you assume you are unforgettable, then even when they attempt to move on, their mind will betray them. They will feel an invisible pull, an ache that they cannot name, an image of you flashing again and again in their inner eye. Then they will not know that you orchestrated it, but you will. You will know that it was your decision, your assumption, your inner stance that turned their mind into a theater where you are the constant star. So practice it now. Feel the thrill of knowing they are thinking of you this very moment. Picture them in their daily life, distracted by tasks, and suddenly your face appears. Imagine them resisting the thought, only for it to return with greater force. Feel them lying in bed, eyes wide open, replaying moments with you, words you spoke, expressions on your face, unable to silence it. Let this vision feel so natural that you no longer hope it is happening. You know it is happening. And as you rest in that certainty, the invisible cords of telepathy draw tighter, pulling their awareness to you over and over again. When you enter a room, carry yourself as though you are already unforgettable. Do not wonder if they notice you. Assume they do. Do not ask yourself if they are impressed. Assume they are captivated. And when you are not in the room, imagine the emptiness they feel. Imagine them searching for your presence in every crowd, scanning faces only to realize no one compares. Your absence becomes heavier than anyone else's presence. This is the art of assumption, and it places you at the center of their mind without effort. Even in silence, you are speaking to them. Even in distance, you are near. Even in separation, you are joined. For the imagination transcends all barriers of space and time. You are linked to them in consciousness, and what you decree within yourself must echo in their world. Every time you affirm within, I am the one they'll never forget, you send a ripple that lands in their awareness as longing, as desire, as restless thought. They cannot tell where it comes from, but they cannot resist its call. Do not underestimate the persistence of a feeling. If you impress upon yourself for only a moment, the effect may be fleeting. But if you live in it, breathe it, wear it like a second skin, then you create permanence. That permanence becomes their obsession. Just as a song stuck in your head plays itself over and over without permission, so too will your image replay in theirs. They are powerless to resist because you have made it law within yourself. It does not matter if they try to distract themselves with someone else. That person will only remind them of you. They will compare, and the comparison will leave them dissatisfied. They will search for your essence in others but never find it. They will laugh, converse, and even attempt to move on, but deep within you remain the one their soul refuses to release. And the more they try to deny it, the deeper it grows. For what is impressed upon consciousness cannot be erased. It can only intensify. Release the need to strategize or control their behavior outwardly. You do not need to send messages, drop hints, or manipulate circumstances. All of that is unnecessary labor when the true work is within. Align your inner state, and the outer world will bend to match it. When you know you are unforgettable, they will move heaven and earth to confirm it. They will show up, they will reach out, they will confess, not because you demanded it, but because they could not contain the obsession you planted. Think of yourself as a flame. The more you assume your own brilliance, the brighter you burn. Others cannot help but be drawn to the light. They may try to look away, but the glow will haunt their vision. They may walk away, but the warmth will pull them back. This is the nature of your being when you choose to live as unforgettable. You do not force their gaze. You simply radiate, and they cannot look anywhere else without feeling the absence of you. Anchor this identity deeply. Each day as you awaken, remind yourself, I am the one they'll never forget. As you drift to sleep, let your final thought be the certainty that their mind is consumed by you. As you go about your day, let the silent conviction guide your steps. Do this long enough, and you will see how reality reshapes itself to confirm your every assumption. They will speak words that match your vision. They will act in ways that mirror your certainty. Their obsession will become undeniable because you refuse to waver. This is not wishful thinking, it is law. The outer world is the echo of your inner world. Whatever you assume about yourself, they must play their part to reflect. So assume the role that thrills you most. Assume that you are unforgettable, and watch as every encounter, every message, every thought they have aligns with that reality. They cannot escape, for you have claimed it in consciousness, and consciousness is the only true cause. Persist, and their obsession will not only reveal itself, it will intensify with time. For the more you live in the certainty of being unforgettable, the more firmly the roots of obsession grow in their soul. What begins as a passing thought becomes a constant longing. What begins as a memory becomes a haunting presence. What begins as attraction becomes obsession. And all of it flows from the simple, unwavering choice you made to be the one they'll never forget. Feel this truth as deeply as you can. The one who holds the stronger inner conviction always wins. It is never about effort in the outer world, never about appearances, never about who seems to hold the advantage. The only true power lies in the assumption you sustain in the silence of your own mind. If you decide without wavering that you are the one they cannot forget, then it is already sealed. No circumstance, no delay, no apparent obstacle can override what you have claimed in consciousness. For consciousness is the root, and all else is merely the fruit. When you see yourself as unforgettable, you shift into a frequency that others cannot resist. They may not understand why their thoughts circle back to you again and again, but you will know. They may try to fight it, distracting themselves with work, with people, with endless tasks. Yet each attempt only intensifies the pull. The harder they try to silence the thought of you, the louder it echoes within. The more they attempt to bury your presence, the deeper it engraves itself in their soul. That is the paradox of obsession. It grows stronger through resistance, and you have already set it in motion. Close your eyes for a moment and feel them right now, restless in their own mind, scrolling, pacing, talking, laughing, yet never escaping the undercurrent of your presence. Feel them trying to sleep, turning on their side, adjusting pillows, but your image flooding their inner eye. Imagine them hearing your voice in the quiet of their thoughts, replaying conversations, imagining new ones, feeling your energy as though you are near. Let this vision become so natural that you no longer wonder if it is real. You know it is, for if you feel it here, it is law there. You must learn to live as though it is already done. This is not pretending, it is creation. When you assume the state of being unforgettable, you begin to act, speak, and move from that certainty. Others sense it, even if you say nothing. They feel the energy radiating from you, and it imprints upon their mind like a permanent mark. You become the presence that cannot be ignored, the figure that lives in their imagination even in your absence. Never underestimate the power of silence. You do not need to announce that you are unforgettable. You do not need to prove it with grand gestures. Your silence, coupled with your inner conviction, speaks louder than words ever could. They will feel it when they see you, when they hear of you, even when they do not. You are the undercurrent in their life that cannot be shaken. You are the rhythm that beats beneath every distraction. You are the thought that breaks through their defenses. That is the strength of inner assumption. The beauty of this truth is that you do not need permission. You do not wait for them to decide you are unforgettable. You decide it yourself. And the moment you decide, reality must shift. Their behavior is not the cause, but the effect. Their thoughts, their emotions, their obsession are nothing more than reflections of what you have impressed upon yourself. So choose wisely, choose powerfully, and choose persistently. For what you assume of yourself is what they will live out, whether they realize it or not. Think of how many times you have felt the pull of someone you could not forget. It was not because of what they did in the outer world, but because of the way you held them in your imagination. You gave them that place in your mind, and so they lingered. Now turn the tables. Give yourself that place in their mind. Assign yourself the role of the unforgettable one, the one they cannot release, the one who lives in their dreams and their waking thoughts alike. When you do this, with certainty, their mind becomes your canvas, and you are the image painted there endlessly. Every time doubt arises, return to the inner vision. Do not ask whether it is working. Know that it is. The outer world is simply catching up to the seed you have already planted. Doubt only weakens your grip, but faith makes it unshakable. So persist in the state, no matter what the appearance may be. They may act indifferent, they may appear distracted, but deep within the obsession grows. For what you hold within always outweighs what they attempt outwardly. Live now as though you are already unforgettable. Walk into every space knowing you leave an imprint behind. Carry yourself with the quiet assurance that people will remember you long after you are gone. Speak with the conviction that your words will echo in their mind. Rest in the certainty that you are the thought that returns again and again. The more you saturate yourself in this knowing, the more undeniable it becomes in their experience. There is no one else to convince, there is only yourself. Convince yourself so deeply that it becomes impossible to imagine otherwise. The moment you feel it as fact, it is fact. They may not voice it immediately, but you will see it in the subtle signs, their lingering gaze, their unexpected messages, their slip of the tongue, their sudden presence where you are. All of these are confirmations of the obsession you planted, of the permanence you claimed. Do not be surprised when their resistance crumbles. Do not be shocked when they admit they cannot stop thinking of you. Do not act as though it is a miracle. It is law. You assumed it, and so it had to be. Every tear they shed in silence, every restless night they endure, every longing sigh they release, is the echo of the decision you made to be the one they'll never forget. So remain in the state. Feel it more deeply with each passing day. Let the conviction grow so strong that you no longer even wonder if it is true. You simply know. And as you know, they will know. As you claim it, they will live it. As you persist, they will surrender to it. For no one can escape the power of imagination. And you are the master of yours. Let us take this deeper. For the truth of being unforgettable is not a surface experience, but an identity you wear like your very skin. When you assume you are the one they'll never forget, you are not just planting fleeting thoughts in their mind, you are shaping their entire perception of reality. Every time they think of love, of desire, of longing, of passion, your image rises before them. Every time they attempt to envision a future, your presence weaves itself into the picture. You are not a passing phase, you are the thread that runs through every fabric of their existence, and the more you stand firm in this knowing, the more their life bends around it. Your mind is the source and theirs is the reflection. When you persist in the assumption that you are unforgettable, their thoughts must conform. You do not wonder how, you do not chase after explanations, you do not search for proof. You live in the end in the feeling of already being etched into their soul, and then you watch as reality begins to mirror your conviction. A sudden glance, an unplanned encounter, a slip in their words, a message at midnight. These are not coincidences but confirmations of the law you set in motion. The secret is immersion. You must immerse yourself so completely in the state that you forget what it is like to doubt. When the old voice whispers, what if they move on? What if they forget? You silence it with the truth. I am the one they'll never forget. Repeat it until it feels like the most natural statement in the world. Feel it until your body hums with certainty. Saturate your imagination with scenes of them drawn back to you again and again, unable to resist, unable to let go, unable to escape. For imagination is not daydreaming, it is creation. Do you understand how powerful you are? A single imaginal act, held with conviction, has the power to rearrange their world. They could be continents away, their life filled with distractions, yet, if you impress upon yourself the reality of being unforgettable, distance dissolves, obstacles crumble, and telepathic cords tighten around their awareness. They begin to feel restless, incomplete, as though something is missing. They may not know it at first, but what they are missing is you. You are the piece their mind refuses to release, the name that returns like a drumbeat in the silence, the face that interrupts their peace. Let them try to run, let them try to deny, let them try to fill the void with anything else. It will not matter, for your assumption is stronger than their effort. Your certainty is greater than their denial. Your presence in their imagination, sustained by you, will always override their resistance. And the longer they resist, the more violent the obsession becomes. They will crave you, they will ache for you. They will find themselves circling back to you as though magnetized by an invisible force. This is not because you are chasing them. It is because you have claimed the role of being unforgettable, and the universe itself conspires to fulfill it. Feel into this truth right now. Imagine them reaching for their phone without knowing why, their fingers typing your name instinctively. See them pausing in the middle of their day, lost in thought, your image rising uninvited. Feel their heartbeat quicken when they hear something that reminds them of you. Imagine them confessing to a friend, I don't know why, but I can't stop thinking about them. All of this is born from the seed you planted in imagination. Every scene you rehearse inwardly ripens outwardly, for the inner is the cause and the outer the inevitable effect. You do not need to explain yourself to anyone. You do not need to prove your worthiness. You simply need to remain faithful to the vision. That is all. Faithfulness is power. Faithfulness is the secret. Faithfulness is what separates the unforgettable from the forgotten. Those who drift in uncertainty, doubting their own value, are easily erased. But the one who claims their place, who knows beyond all appearances that they are unforgettable, becomes permanent in the memory of others. And what is permanence but obsession? Obsession is simply the inability to forget. When you decide that you are unforgettable, you guarantee that they cannot release you even when they try. They will walk through the world with the weight of your presence pressing upon them. They will carry you like a shadow they cannot outrun. They will feel you in moments of silence, in the spaces between words, in the stillness between heartbeats. You become their secret companion, always present, never absent, always near, even when far. Do not doubt the telepathic bond. Thought is not bound by time or distance. When you saturate your imagination with the feeling of being unforgettable, that vibration is received. They may be miles away, they may be preoccupied, yet suddenly you rise in their thoughts with startling clarity. They cannot explain it, but you are there, undeniable, inescapable. That is the mystery of consciousness. It connects all minds in ways unseen, and you, as the master of your imagination, direct that connection. This is why you must persist. Not for a day, not for a week, but until it becomes your natural state. Persistence imprints the image so deeply that it becomes unshakable. They may go through seasons, they may wander, but always, always they return to you. For you are not a fleeting character in